morning and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff, your Saturday morning hobby hangout coming to you live via the interwebs. I'm your host, Mike, and let your fingers do the walking. My buddy Jeff. What's up?
I never know where you're going to go with that. It's like,
good morning, David. I don't know either. It's usually after our conversation. So for those behind we're going to peel back the curtains. Before our show, Jeff and I hook up a little bit early, just catch up on life and talk about, fixing cars and just our struggles in life.
Cobblestone sheeting, that kind of thing.
Everything. And it's after that conversation, I try to pull from that conversation and inspire me to come up with something creative to say when I do the intro. So it's always a new adventure.
Sounds fun to me.
It's just how it is. So
and that's why you do the intro, because my intro is, hey, how's everybody doing?
One of these days we're gonna have to let you do the intro. So
morning. Yeah. So, and there's been a couple times I've done the show without you that I actually went back and got a video of you doing the greeting. It's all about consistency, my man.
We don't like change.
We fear change.
Makes me go into the fetal position. And that's why we kind of like, how long did it take us to decide to like really finally change the intro to the video? It's like, but that's change and we don't want change.
It's scary.
Change is scary. How you been, buddy?
I've been good.
Good.
Working, painting, working, fixing cars. That kind of thing.
I have been, so last week after the show, so I'm getting into the more time thing.
Good old Mordheim.
I'm in it. Yes. Oh, let me see if I can do this. I don't know if my camera will let me do what I want to do because I didn't set my camera up before we got started. Let me see if I can change. Where was that? My camera. Will it let me change? Okay. So it let me change. Let me clear my desk a little bit. I spent 2 days on this model. So as you know, I'm trying to push myself with this army or this.
Right.
Is it an army or is it a war band?
It's a war band.
Okay. I'm trying to push myself with this war band.
Ooh.
So it's hard to do this on camera because I don't know where the camera is at.
You're good. You're in the center right now. You're moving around so much you can't see it.
There you go.
There.
I'm really trying to push that flesh tone.
Yeah, it looks good.
So now I will say, I'm going to switch back because you can kind of see it. That red,
right?
That red is the new John Blanche speed paint red, which is called something.
It has a name, and that name is Blood Moon Red.
Blood Moon Red.
Yes.
That is an amazing contrast paint.
It is. It's very bright. Morning, Joe.
It goes on red. You know how some of the contrast paints go on and they're like a dark red or maroon type red, like a purplish red. That stuff goes on red. And I'm like, holy crap, that stuff is amazing. That is what I'm using for my base. And then I'm just going through with some of the regular reds to do some go from the top down, blend it down a little bit so it's a little darker on the bottom, a little lighter on the top.
Right.
But I'm really pushing myself on these models. I have to unfortunately strip that model back down to plastic.
Why?
So you ever, build a model, you spent time cleaning the model and doing all that stuff. You go to prime it and you start painting. And then you notice something weird. I forgot to clean up one of the nubs from the sprue. Like I cut it while I was using my God shears that you bought me. Thank you very much. I cut it. Wow, what matters appears before my I hope you're gazing at Jeff. So I well, that sucks. Yes, it does, Mark. So I cut it with the God shears, or is that what they call them? God clippers?
Yeah, they're called God shears. They're just snippers.
They're just good snippers. And I just at first I thought it was just like maybe a scar because these chaos models have these really over exaggerated scars on them. That's kind of what I thought it was, and I just kept painting, and I didn't. I'm old, my eyes are shot. And then I'm like, nope, that's a nub. That's a nub.
Yeah. But why are you stripping the whole thing down?
Because I ended up putting so many layers of flesh tone on this model. Like I've got 4 or 5 layers. If I try to shave it down, it's just not going to work. And I want to take the scars off. So basically, I'll be like, there's 2 scars on the model. I'm taking all the scars off the rest of the models.
Right.
So I'm like, I just need to cut it all off. I need to clean those scars off, reshape the abs and the back, and clean that up. And I'm going to strip it all down because I love the pose of the model.
Sure.
The model is posed beautifully. It does look fine, but I'm trying to go above fine. I'm going to Mark's level. I'm trying to really push.
That's tall order, buddy.
And I'm really pushing. So I feel good with how I did my flesh tone.
Right.
I think the flesh tone, I'm trying to mirror that GW thing. So 300, you know how you looked at the 300, watch the 300 movies, their abs are all shadowed in and all that. Like that's how GW kind of does their painting.
Right.
I'm really trying to push that element.
Sure.
And so I just want to redo it. I'm like,
okay, fair enough. Normal, I come across on occasion where you forget something, like there'll be a piece of sprue that get there. I normally just go in and shave that piece off, and then just take brush on primer, put a bit on it, and just kind of build it back up to match the rest.
Yeah.
Versus strip the whole model.
Well, I like paint stripper.
That's fine. Well,
I got a couple dollar bills I can throw at it. Mark, I think I didn't get the whole nub because it's in the armpit. And I was just trying to get in there to get it out of the armpit. And I probably just wasn't fully focused on it. And that's why.
And speaking like a big brother, he probably didn't have his damn glasses on.
Anyways, moving on to JP's question. I need to reshape my abs too.
So I was correct.
Yeah. You're falling down to my level. I'm falling down. I'm rising up to your level, buddy. Rising up. So, yeah. So anyway, I spent 2 days painting the model. So after the show Saturday, I pulled a Jeff day. Pretty much sat at my bench most of the day, just getting. And it was weird. What's hard about what I'm doing, because I'm using the airbrush to put the flesh tones down, so I get a nice, even, no brush strokes type thing. When I was just working on the flesh, I'm like, this model looks like crap because, the airbrush kind of went over stuff. And all right, Victor, he can get our abs all nice and toned again. So I had to start painting everything else so I could start seeing the model. I don't know if you've ever had that where you got your base colors, like your primer, and you get like a base color down. You're like, I got to get some other color on here, or this is going to drive me up the wall. Because like the flesh tone was on the pants and the armor, and I'm like, I just got to get some color on here. So
I've been there.
Yeah, that's first world miniature paintings. Well,
it is. Yeah, and I'm actually just kind of excited to see you pushing yourself, as you always say, out of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
because flesh tone is a bear.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm still not where I want to be at. There's a couple things I want to improve how I do faces. Get more detail there. The next thing I think I'm going to, because I try to tackle one thing at a time. Sure. I've been watching a couple videos on texturing like cloaks.
Okay.
And there's a couple guys I found that do a nice texture on a cloak, but they use a stippling. Okay. Versus like a lot of guys use hashes and that kind of thing. And I actually, just so everybody know, I've actually got my app where I want them. I've got one.
That's what Mark or David just said.
Yep. Just, I didn't even see that. Yeah. So yeah,
he's got a protective layer keeping his abs safe.
I do. I went for more of the body armor look than abs. A lot of body armor.
Yeah.
But they use a stippling, and they basically slowly build it up. I mean, they stipple the entire model to give the whole model that texture for whatever their highlight's going to be. Then they really go and stipple onto the highlights a lot much more. I really like the look. So I've got some cloaks for my Terminators. They're their aftermarket. Where I can actually put these on my Terminator. So I'm going to actually attempt it on some of these.
Do a couple test models.
Yeah, and just kind of see how they just practice and see if I can get it down. But that's the next one. But yeah, I've never been happy with I'm okay with flesh overall.
Yeah.
But I want to take how, start looking at doing my faces with a lot more of the blush and different reds in there as well.
Putting that like undertone of red and then painting over the undertone of red.
Yeah.
That 5 o'clock shadow, which is always a challenge. Yeah. It's always good to do level up build to increase your experience with new techniques. Yeah, we call that getting out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
We do a lot of that.
So that's where I'm at as far as that. And then there's another one I found that I want to try on.
Good morning, Jake.
Morning, Jake. Where they're base coating golds in brown, and then they dry brush it up from there.
Okay.
There's a couple things I want to try that on. I think that'll be a good technique for certain effects.
The ones I saw, they're using like a rusty brown, like a burnt something brown.
Yeah, the specific color they mentioned in the couple of tutorials that I watch is Mornfang.
Okay, is that like a rusty brown?
Yeah, it's kind of a reddish, rusty, reddy brown.
Yeah.
And I think Armor Painter's absolutely got a color close to it.
Well, you got a Custodes commission. You might as well start practicing.
Not Custodes. I have a Sanguinius.
Oh,
and I have the Custodes models I'm doing. There's a couple smaller Forge World tanks.
Oh, okay.
But I've got I can do some of that gold on the tanks and give that a try.
There you go.
I would probably still be in a psychiatrist's office have more Custodes. I don't think I'm paying for Custodes ever.
Yeah. But for right now, I'm just going to keep the model on the little alligator clip. The one thing I like about these are underworld models. They're all got the pegs on their feet, so I can just use my alligator clips.
Sweet.
So I'm just keeping them on that, and that's going to be my reminder until I get some more models done and I have something as my reference point.
Cool.
So that's where I'm at. So I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing so far. I'm chopping off bits and pieces off the models. Like some of these guys have like had like heads or skulls on their belts. I'm like, no, we're getting rid of that. So I've been chopping them up a little bit. I want to make each one of them a little bit more. I'm not doing hard conversions. I'm not changing out weapons. I'm not changing out arms or anything like that.
Right.
I am taking off some of the things I don't like. Like this dude he's holding a head in his hand.
Right.
I'm going to chop the head off, reshape the hand as best I can. And then I want to put like a knife or maybe put a shield on his arm.
Right.
I'm doing little conversions like that.
Sweet. Jake says if I'm doing white skin, I typically base coat with Bugman's Glow.
Awesome color.
Or something similar. Yeah, that's actually a good start. Yeah.
And football. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff Smith. A similar priming with pink before painting red. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Brown will add some depth. Oh, everything's moving. Warmth and gold. Yeah. So, and everyone's going to have their own little called Adeptus Custards. Some light editing.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find.
When he said light editing, I just posted a video this morning. I spent the morning editing it, and I was like, I was thinking video editing. My mind went someplace else. But
I'm just trying to find some ways to because I don't have the brush control. Because a lot of guys will do the hash marks. I just don't have the control for that really yet. I'm still trying to. I switched over and bought and spent a boatload on these artist opus brushes.
Yeah.
To lighten up my hand when I paint. And I switched to to this type of handle for a lot of my personal projects because I'm only putting them on here with blue tack.
Right.
And I'm literally, the reason I didn't use these prior is I'm such a heavy-handed painter, I'd push them right off.
Yeah.
And,
so you're coming up with some different techniques to
force
you.
Yeah, trying.
Now for your stippling, are you doing sponge stippling?
No, I'll be using like a dry brush for stippling in that area. Yeah, and then I just an edge highlight, around the edge. So yeah.
I got you, Jake.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I the biggest reason for that is every once in a while I hit a point where I kind of I plateau.
Mm-hmm.
And when I start posting stuff on other places, and I'm looking at the comments and I'm looking at the other stuff that's being posted, when I start getting the feeling that I'm punching I'm now trying to punch above my weight class. That's when I come back and go, okay, we need to add a few more techniques.
Yeah.
See what I can get done.
And if you work on the faces more, and if you can get those expressions, like GW's newer models have so much more expression to their faces, where before they were all kind of plain faces, so we could get away with a little bit easier painting techniques. But now, you got open mouths, and you're even on some of these small models, you got teeth in them, and they got their lips are curled, and some of them have scars and wrinkles. Like, you really can push some of that personality, and that can become your focus point on that particular miniature.
Right.
Is that face. So
yeah. Well, and this has all also been prompted by the new wolves coming out. That's the army that I really want. I mean, my wolf spear look good. They're great. I'm happy with them on the table. And they're going to be put next to Dave's today, which I'm hoping I can keep that balance between what Dave's army looks like and what mine looks like. But when I start doing the wolves, I'm literally going to try to really put a lot of effort into them and work on them and bring them up to a level I've really never done an army to before.
Very cool. Well, then it looks like we're both in the same boat.
Yeah.
And I want to do a really good job of representing female characters and male characters in this army. Sure. So I don't want, it's easy because these are all kind of chaosy corn models, which is pretty, a lot of males. But I got the Dark Oath Spearhead box.
Right.
And it's got female characters in it. So I'm like, I want to create that balance between the two. Little Viking-ish, like shield maidens and things, how they used to do that. So I'm trying to strike that balance. So looking for models that are all going to fit cohesively in the warband that I'm creating,
right.
But having that balance between male and female character. And I don't want the bikini chainmail type crap. GW does a really good job of representing the female characters in a good way.
Right.
They're still feminine and all that kind of stuff, and it's just not a female head on a male body. So I'm really trying to. Oh yes, they are. It's actually a really cool box set. The Spearhead box. They got a Conan model. They don't call it Conan, but damn, it looks like Conan.
Any bare-chested, long-haired barbarian is a Conan model. That's why I refer to it. Yeah. It's like make a Xerox copy or give me a Kleenex. It's just Conan.
All the same. Yeah. So that's where I'm going with the army, or the warband. That's where I'm going with the warband. So working on it. Like right now, I just got my test model done. I've got 4 more that I'm letting the even with GW's. I don't know when these models came out. This was for Underworld, but even when with their new sculpting techniques and. It's not going to be a bunch of Red Sonjas.
Yeah.
Oh God, the X Plus model kit for Red Sonja.
Yeah.
I looked at that. I'm like, it's like I think it's 1/18 scale. I'm like, man, that's a cool model. I just don't talk about pushing my flesh tone.
We
flesh tone.
We do that all the time. Oh, that's a really cool model.
I'm not buying it.
That's the part I don't have down yet.
I'm not buying it.
Yeah, but I'm not going anywhere with you.
Mounted Chieftain.
Yeah, it's not Chieftain.
Yeah. The whole I got the box set, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think that's going to make up the majority of my warband,
right.
because they're just really cool models. So the newer models. I've got the old Blood Reavers model box set for the Army. They're just a little chunkier, and I think I'm gonna put those back in the box and push those aside. I think I'm just gonna stick with the Oath Sworn or whatever they're called, Dark Sworn or whatever models. And I want to use these 5 models because they're completely different to represent like my captains and my character models.
Right.
And then from there, I'll use everything else to fill out my units. So,
well, I'm still making headway on this project.
Oh yeah, how's that working out?
It's going slower than I like, but my Army Painter versus GW Space Wolf.
Yeah.
So I'm still making some headway on that. It's been a lot of fun because one of the reasons it's taking so long is I do a color on the Army Painter Space Wolf, and then I'll do the color on the same area on. So I want them to be as identical as I can make them be.
Almost matching your painting as well. Like
yeah.
Today I'm painting this, so how you painted that's going to be stuck in your mind because you just painted it.
Right.
And you're going to go. It's not like you painted this blue shoulder 3 weeks ago and you forgot how you did it. So doing it one step at a time in the same manner is going to have the same paint effect.
That's the other thing. I'm keeping a file. So, like for example, on the GW Space Wolf, I've already on one leg I've started doing some layering and some buildup. And then I have to stop, and then I have to log it on what colors I used and what techniques I used, and then I go to the Army Painter version, use the Army Painter colors, and do the same step.
Yep.
And then log that. So it's been a bit of a process.
Sure.
But I gotta say, I'm not seeing. I'm actually I've had to label the paint handles as to being able to, because I marked the bottom of the bases when I started on which was which. But I realized I couldn't take them off the base, so I took masking tape and I labeled the bases.
Sure.
So I could keep track of which one's which because they don't look that far apart. But when I started it, and you look at the colors in the bottles sitting next to each other, it looks dramatically different. Because that was my big concern, because I am switching over to more Army Painter paints, pretty much exclusively Army Painter, unless the commission requires they want GW.
Right.
So it's been and as we mentioned earlier in the show, I fear change. So I'm like, I've been painting Space Wolves for a long time. And so me switching to a different color, I'm like, they're not going to look the same. I'm not going to be happy with this. Here's how we're going to find out. And that's why I'm doing this project. But it's taking longer because of the way I'm doing it. So.
Well, I can't wait to see the results.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I understand you're trying to stay away from Age of Sigmar, but man, Spearhead, all you need is that one box. All you got to do is buy that one box.
Yeah,
you're good to go. You can play Spearhead.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not. I've got two. I'm behind on all my projects because I've got so much commission work right now. I only have a couple hours a day that I'll, like in the morning I'll paint for an hour, and then at the end of the night when I stop painting commission stuff, I switch over to do a little bit of work on my stuff. So.
Well, didn't you get the new? Because Jake just talked about the new pre-orders last night. Didn't you get the new Emperor's Children or Army?
I am working on Emperor's Children. I'm building it right now because it's a lot of models.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I probably won't. It's a full 2,000 point army.
Oh boy!
And on top of that is Fulgrim. So I've got a lot of stuff to. Right now, I've just got the rhinos built, and I'm starting to build the flawless sword, whatever, blah blah blah. So yeah, I've just got to start. It's good. I'm building. I've actually been. So I got so much to build. I'm building stuff at lunch at work.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So it's like.
Jake, I understand you got one, but man, what's one more? What's one more box? Come on, join the addiction. You might know a guy that could get you a good deal on a box. Just one box from you.
You should go shopping with Mike. He's a lot of fun.
Oh, go to a
convention
garage sale with Mike, and I'll really spend your money.
Mike's way of not spending his money is finding stuff for me to buy.
I also made a huge mistake. So Jason and I hung out yesterday,
right?
And we went and grabbed something to eat, and it's getting kind of late in the day. We're like, let's run up to the new game store. Just pop in. They weren't quite. They don't open. I run the drugstore. They don't open until 1, so they hadn't quite opened yet. So we went into the RC car shop next door to the game store. So it's kind of cool. The strip mall that it's in, you got an anime store that is.
Go be an adult. Go be an adult, JP.
Grown up things. Nah. So you have like this little anime store that sells like pop culture anime type stuff. You got the RC car store or RC vehicles. They sell everything. And then you have the game store. So it's like geek mecca of all this stuff. But we went into the RC car shop. Boy, did that take me down a road. And some of these RC cars, like, they're huge and they're gas powered. And there was all kinds of guys in there buying replacement parts, because I remember those days of racing RC cars, and I was always going to the RC car shop to just stock up on supplies. You know how you worked at a hobby store that sold that stuff, so you know what it's like.
I raced RC cars and ran RC car races for about 10 years, in addition to doing the GW stuff as well.
Yeah.
Because I had a problem when working in a hobby shop that carries, all these different things. I don't like, as a salesperson, saying I don't know or I'm not sure.
Sure.
So I built and flew RC planes. I built them well, but flying I wasn't really good at.
Not so well.
Not so well. Raced RC cars, built RC cars, painted Lexan bodies. The only hobby that I didn't get into in the hobby shop was trains, because I did that time in my life. I didn't need any help falling asleep. But I did almost get into live steam, which is that's a hobby.
That's a whole different, for train people, that's a different hobby.
Yeah, and unfortunately, from everything I've seen, that hobby's aging itself out. Because it's not something new people, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, and it's also dangerous. Like, you're dealing with a steam engine, and you're like fueling it and building pressures, and those things can go boom. That's where, like,
RC boat.
Ooh, yeah, getting RC. Well, they had plenty of RC boats, buddy. Come on down. I'll take you over there.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah,
it was fun going in, but I had to quickly leave because RC's now very micro. They've got like 1/18th scale RC vehicles now, which to me was like, that would be perfect to chase the cats around the house with. I need to get out of here because I can't get into this.
if you guys have ever done anything with drug and alcohol rehabilitation, one of the things that they recommend if you have a real serious problem is that you move away from where you are to get out of your area where you know everybody and your comfort, and also gets away from the enablers that you're into. So with that said, that's one of the reasons why I moved back to Maryland, because anytime Mike and I hung out, he'd spend my money.
Like, hey, let's go check out this stuff over here.
Let's go do this. Look at all that. That's not actually true. I'm very capable of spending my own money.
But yeah, I'm not going to get back into RC. But it was just cool to go walk down that to see where everything is at, and kind of just like, all right, this is cool.
Well, when I thought about being a licensed miniature addiction specialist, one of the ways where people say, well, if you really think your hobby is expensive, let's go play with RC cars.
Yeah. Yeah. All you need is one bad turn, and you are spending 100, like, depending on the car, obviously.
Well, just building a stock car, and then if you want to start upgrading it and changing things and your radio systems, and it's just insane. Speed controllers, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is one of the reasons I'm in the desert, because I can't go out of the house for 3 months out of the year. To chase, you just need one RC car. No, I've got 2 cats. I would need one for each cat.
And well, Darren's into drones now, which I can imagine how that is. I was like, holy
God. Well, he doesn't have like a YouTube channel documenting like his.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Cool.
And he's licensed. So.
Oh yeah. You have to have some like a flight, not a pilot's license, but it's
you have to get certified, and you have to follow rules and all that.
Yeah. Because you can't, like, where we're at. We're over by Luke Air Force Base,
Right.
So the police department actually has drones for a lot of good things, but lots of restrictions because of flight patterns.
Yeah.
Because the jets come really low where we're at. So the drones can only go so high, and it all has to be documented. Sometimes they have to get approval before they can launch them.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of privacy issues and everything else.
Yeah,
you got to be where you fly them. How? Yeah, there's some weird stuff.
yeah. Police departments get a little bit of leeway on that because they're investigating crimes or they're using them for, like we fly drones in the houses instead of sending people in.
Yep.
Like we'll breach the door, send the drones in to try to find out where the person's at.
I back when Hobby Bench was in Sun City, when I first started working for the bench, the owner's nephew ran the Sun City store. His name was David, and he had with the nuclear plant that's out in that area.
Out Palo Verde.
Yeah, they came to him and they designed a couple RC he designed a couple RC cars that they bought and he put these big aluminum balls. They were kind of a shaped like aluminum ball, but they were basically designed to test their motion sensors for their security.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he geared them all down so they were very slow, but they were roughly the size of a man trying to low crawl and stay below their motion sensors.
Sure.
So he built like 3 of them for that out there, and I used to help him with them on occasion. But they were designed to test their motion sensors, where they could see how low they could get the sensors. They could check anybody trying to sneak up on the nuclear power plant.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Well, watching him gear down an RC car. It was an RC10 car, Team Associated RC10. He geared it down, so it only had a really low speed compared to what it normally would have.
Right.
It was to simulate someone crawling through the desert trying to get up to the plant.
Perfect.
Yeah, RC cars are a lot of fun. I'm glad I don't have any exposure to them anymore. I might be doing it again.
Between my bass guitar collection, my miniatures collection, my movie collection, that's like I'm done. So well, let's jump into photos. We are going to cut out of here. Arizona time, 8:00.
I had to because of my car issues. I had to cancel my game with David last week, and we rescheduled for this week, and I don't want to miss it.
So we're going to cut out after an hour. So let's jump into the photos.
I want to go down and get my rear end handed to me by Dave.
I'm sure it's going to be a fun rear end.
It'll be a good time. It'll be good, and plus going to games and stuff is always a trip.
There you go.
Fun. So these are some more Amos Knights that he's working on.
Amos Knights. That's a faction.
Yeah. This is from the House of Amos.
House of Amos. There we go. Yeah. Love it.
Good stuff. Again, that desert is nice. All that dust up on there is very cool.
Nice and weathered.
Yeah, they're coming along quite nice. I like the glow he's got going on there. That looks really cool.
Yeah, not super bright, but perfect. Love it. Puppy dogs.
He was working on some stuff now.
That's a dog that's really unsure of wanting to interact with anybody.
I was looking up that night going, what the heck is that?
What is that? I'm going to get beaten.
And these, I believe, are the final pictures of Mark's. And I was reading something on one of Mark's posts where they were saying they actually stopped. This was in development for the military. It wasn't officially the latest tank, and something happened where they've actually dropped it or they've paused it,
so it's almost like a prototype.
No, it wasn't a prototype. It's just when they go into development.
Okay.
Where they're just testing it and everything else, but the government eventually still has to commit to it. I'm not sure what it actually was. I'm sure Mark will chime in if he knows, but this is the finished version. We got all the stowage and tools and everything on it. It looks absolutely fantastic. I'm massively jealous.
Love it.
And I am, as always, Mark, impressed by your prowess at this.
And it's got weathering, but it's not over the top.
It's just done. It's just done really, really well.
Yeah, it's very fitting for the vehicle.
Yep.
Love it.
And now I've got all the stowage on and everything else. So
fantastic. This is going to be a showstopper.
Yeah. Well, I've got the final piece as well, but on the base.
Yeah. This is just going to be a showstopper.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Bring home the gold.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, look at that.
Hopefully, when he comes back east, he's bringing this. I'll be able to see it in person.
Oh yeah, are you guys gonna hook up?
Yeah, he was supposed to call me last week, but he didn't. Don't call me today because I'm traveling to go down and play my game with Dave, and I don't answer my phone when I'm driving because USAA really gets angry with my app, and USAA gets really angry when I use my phone while driving.
Yeah, you don't want to get in trouble.
They get all uppity. So, again, I love the periscopes here. I mean, there's a really good shot, and then this little bit of rust.
Yeah.
And weathering and mud, and it's just
perfect.
I don't know if that's rust or dirt or what, but it looks good. But that little bit of glow.
Yeah.
That is just really nice.
Need to get a figure of a person washing like washing the tank.
Yeah, I washed enough tanks in basic training. Thank you very much. I do not want to wash another one, which is why in 40K all my tanks are perfectly clean.
But then we could say it's Jeff cleaning
washing the tank.
Jeff doing what he does. PA on Wednesday through Sunday. All right.
Cool.
Is that close to you? I don't know how far.
Next week.
Is it PA close to you?
Yeah, he's only like an hour. He's like an hour and a half away.
That's not bad.
I think he said Harrisburg.
All right.
Well worth the drive to see my buddy. And there's the finish on the base. Looks fantastic.
Look at that. Going downhill is so much easier.
Yes.
Look at that. Love it. I want Mark, is that a preformed base or did you just use a piece of wood and cut some foam up? Harrisburg. But yeah, that base is awesome. I love it. A little hillside thing going on, some shrubbery.
Looks awesome, dude. As always.
Yeah. Comtastic.
And then Tim did some rats.
Rats. This is his warband army. For Necromunda, or more time. Nope. Carved from foam. Very cool. Yeah. It's a rat attack.
Yes. Someone call Orkin.
I need to get a rat catcher model, like a dude with like a trap or something like that, and put it in my force.
So you're heading to Harrisburg this coming Wednesday? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Big rat.
Rat ogre.
Yeah. Very cool. It's gonna have to kill a bunch of those rats.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem.
And then some silly terrain I did for Halo.
Halo? Yes. Mark said yes.
I'm going to have to figure out if I can come see you.
So, is this for what's their new? Is this the new game for
Halo Flashpoint?
Okay,
yeah, it's this beautiful set right here. But he didn't want the power plants and he didn't want them to be the green that they come in, so I did them up like this. Nothing too fancy.
Yeah, this is just scatter train.
Just scatter train. That's all it is. But I love this metallic. It's actually granite. I think it's called granite gray.
Granite gray.
Granite silver. It's a lovely metallic from Citadel.
Sweet.
I believe that's it. Oh, and there's the final set.
Mark said he's flying in on Wednesday because the AMPS Nationals start Thursday and go through Saturday.
You're flying in on Wednesday?
Wednesday evening.
It's called Granite Steel.
Very cool. It's a nice color. It's got like a little bluish tint. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's got a little bit of a blue hue to it. Still has that metallic. Because it's Halo, I didn't weather it up. I just basically did it.
Sure.
So, and that should be it. There we go. Boom. That is everything. Not a whole lot this week.
Sweet. Friday or Saturdays would be a good day to hang out with Mark. So.
I have both those days where I couldn't figure something out. So we'll figure out what's going on.
Just got to make sure your car is functioning properly.
What finished commission pieces? I didn't see any finished commission pieces on there.
I think he had Kingdom Death Monster photo up there. We'll get it next week, Joe.
Maybe.
And Mark, meet you if you're driving. All right. Sweet.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It'll be nice to see the results and maybe some photos of if you happen to make it down there.
Yeah, I should be able to.
maybe snap a few photos. I'm sure Mark's going to take a bunch of photos.
Yeah.
I would lean out there to think that Mark uses these competitions as also a way of pushing himself to look at what other people are doing and come up with some new creative ideas.
Just going up and seeing Mark's where I want to go. The model's secondary.
Models are secondary.
They really are. I mean, Mark and I have been friends since I moved from Arizona to Odenton, Maryland, to go to work for Games Workshop. He and I met playing Tribes online. We've been friends ever since.
Tribes.
And we met one time, and so I just going up and saying hi and hanging out with him for a little bit.
It will be awesome to see.
Well worth the trip.
Very cool. I've been getting stuck into a YouTube channel that I've kind of been digging.
Right.
HPI Model Car Guy. This dude's just really like doing basic stuff with model cars. His channel's really about reviewing the model kits.
Right.
But he does like real basic stuff, but he just has so much joy when he's doing it. They're inspirational and great mojo builders. Yes, I'm sure. Yeah. But he just has so much fun. Like, he just does really basic builds. He doesn't get carried away with his cars and doing all the wiring and all the crazy stuff. He just does really cool basic stuff. Just having that joy in just painting model cars and not getting caught up into all the crazy stuff like you can get caught up in with model cars. It just does Rust-Oleum type paints and just has fun. It's just kind of fun to watch. Just that's that joy of just building and painting models and just having a good time and not getting caught up in everything. Sure. I was like, man, could you do that with GW models? And I'm like, probably not. There's so many bops and bits and things on those models that might make it a little bit harder. So stay away from Rust-Oleum paint. That's what a lot of people say. This guy seems to have a system down for it somehow. But last time I used it on a model car, it took like a month for the paint to dry and harden so I could touch it. It's something weird about the way Rust-Oleum affects plastic.
Right.
I don't know what it is. So, but that's where you can just go with airbrush.
No, absolutely.
Orange tube glue. I love the orange tube glue. That's the best. It's just we take the cap off and it just goes all over the place.
the orange tube stuff.
Yeah, it's always fun to have that stuff all over the place. Lived on that as a kid, building cars. That's all I had. That's all my parents would buy. It's kind of funny when you.
I inadvertently did other stuff with it.
Like our parents used to give us X-Acto blades as kids, and we played with toxic glues and spray paints. And here's like a 5-year-old out here building these model kits. No wonder I cut my finger off. And like, just go, just do it. You'll figure it out.
Have fun.
He's only going to put the fork in the light socket once. You know,
this is true.
It's only going to happen. They'll figure it out the hard way. I think that's how latch kids were raised. It's just like, go have fun. What you doing?
Hang on a minute, I'll show you.
Testers in your granddad it's your granddad of glues. Yes, it is. And and still for sale. You can still go buy it. You go to Hobby Lobby and they have boxes of it. It's just like,
all right, there we go.
There you go, Joe. Yes, that is Kingdom Death Monster. Crazy looking models. Love it. Oh,
there we go.
All right, now we're all up to date.
Yep.
Very cool. Hey, so I've been watching. If you get a chance, check it out.
Check it out.
What he does, what I find, it's great to have on my screen when I'm working on a model, because when he gets to the building and painting part, you're welcome, Joe. I did a lot of hard work putting those photos up.
Yeah, I go through it every week. Occasionally, I miss one. So.
He cuts his sound out and he plays real relaxing music.
Sure.
And it just like, I'm starting to play different types of music when I build my models and paint. Sure. I'm trying to get away from my death metal. I think that's what brings out some of my aggression when I'm painting. So he plays really well. And then I can just look up and kind of see where he's at, and then I can watch the final
Yeah.
the final view, and it's just like, just so much joy. And I want to bring that back into my painting, just where you're just kind of like having fun and you're just not getting too caught up into trying to be perfect.
Right.
I'm just trying to push myself and just do better, but just push myself. And I don't know. I just take something away from those videos, and they're just fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I normally have some kind of YouTube channel on or something like that, and I've been watching a lot again because I'm going to try. I got my Space Wolf coming up, and so I've been watching stuff like on how to do faces and flesh tones. And that kind of thing. And then the cloaks and getting that texture in them. So that's a big thing. I want to try to get.
Megadeth frowns at me. Yes, Dave Mustaine he's local. He's probably going to come knock on my door and say, I can't do a Dave Mustaine voice. He's going to yell at me. And plus I'm a bass player. When Dave Ellison left Megadeth, Dave Mustaine didn't have anything nice to say about bass players. So me and Dave Mustaine have a few things to hash out in our lives.
Few things to discuss.
Bass players are important to a band.
They are. Absolutely are.
Extremely important.
Who are we going to make fun of?
Oh, the drummer.
No, not the timekeeper. No, not the timekeeper.
Hey, if you ever dance to a song, you're dancing to the bass line.
Well, that answer, like, I never danced to a song.
Well, you must be bass dev.
No, I just don't. I'm dance averted. I just like, nope. Nope.
So anyway, I'm just trying to shift some things around with my painting and just trying to just relax, make it a little bit. And that's, I think, what I take away from that guy's videos. He just seems so relaxed. I don't like behind the screens of a YouTube channel. Who knows what the person to go in one come out. Oh, now I want to watch Mad Max.
Two man in or one man leave.
But it's just like he just does it. He doesn't think about all the things, and he's pretty candid with people. He's like, hey, you don't like it, don't watch the channel.
You might want to be careful, Mark, quoting that movie, because next thing you know, next week Mike will be going, "Who runs Thunderdome?" Or I'm sorry, who runs Bartertown? So,
who's got the shirt on?
Yeah, I saw that. That's the wrong movie.
No, I know, but it's still one of those types of movies.
But
I know.
Two different movies.
Close enough.
We're quoting a different one.
Both of them are post-apocalyptic movies.
They are. That's absolutely true.
So they're in the same genre. That's where I was going.
Well, actually, Escape from New York is not a post-apocalyptic movie. It's more of a Prison's Gone Wild movie. because other than LA and New York, the center of the country is a mess, but it's not apocalyptic. So,
yeah, Joe.
In particular zones, they are apocalyptic.
Yeah, Joe, I'm not dressing up. Such cool stuff. I love those movies. I don't know what it is about those movies that. Well, the first Mad Max was good, but it was a little slow at the beginning. But it built up as time went on. So
it actually that movie is the first DVD I ever bought was Mad Max. It's a good movie. It's good movie. Absolutely, it gets better.
How far is the drive from you to Harrisburg?
About 90 minutes, buddy. Not bad at all.
No, it's I guess that would be the equivalent of me going to Prescott.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad drive.
Is it all? Is it all?
The hardest part about it is through Amish country.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. That might slow your time down.
No, it just means I have to dodge horses and carriages.
Boom, boom, boom.
I actually like driving through Amish country. It's kind of relaxing. It's just kind of nice. It's not relaxing when you're driving a 26-foot box truck heading to Lancaster for a Historicon.
No. Is it a kind of like an internet dead zone out there?
I
would think, I don't think they would allow cell towers to be built.
Yeah, I've never had a problem. I mean, I've been to Lancaster many times, which is like the heart of Amish country.
Okay.
And it's not been bad. It's just through hilly farm country.
Okay.
And there's a lot of carriages on the road. There's a lot of Amish Mennonite presence in that area. So you just got to be careful. You don't want to, come over any hills really fast because there may be,
you might come right up on a horse,
an Amish buggy on the road. So.
Yeah.
And when you're driving a 26-foot box truck and you're trying to get to Lancaster, it can get a little tedious.
A little scary. A little scary there. So.
Yeah. About 90 minutes, but not far at all.
All right. Well, very cool. Well, hopefully you guys can hook up. We will.
Yeah, we'll have to see. When I get back from my game tonight, Mark, I'll shoot you an IM, and maybe we can get on the phone and put something together.
Very cool. That would be cool.
That'd be awesome. That'd be really good.
And then maybe in next week's show, we'll hear a recap of 2 things from you.
Yeah.
How your game went with Dave.
Yep.
And if you were able to. So this is where we're going to leave off with a cliffhanger. Tune in next week.
I'll bring pictures of me under the table at games and stuff in the fetal position, sobbing because Dave has handed my head to me on a silver platter.
Don't blame Dave. I'm
going to call you out. I think the fetal position, in fact, once again, my army is not completely painted because since the last time I played Dave and Jake with that army and looked at how they built their armies, I've reconfigured mine.
Okay.
So I've got some more unpainted stuff in it. So, but I'll also be the first game I've played my repulsor.
Ooh, that could be fun.
Yeah. So
but it's not going to be Dave kicking your butt. It's going to be your dice kicking your butt.
As always, it is my dice. As always. As always. Yeah.
If you could just roll better, you need to practice rolling dice more.
Well, okay. I did find a set of dice that roll pretty well for me.
Yeah.
But I'm embarrassed to play them in a public venue.
Are they a weird color?
No. But when you roll ones, it says what I normally think. It basically, when I roll ones, if it says F me, it's a 1. And normally when I roll, as you've seen, 9 saves, and I roll, like 8 2s and a 1 or something weird like that, which has happened. You've seen it. I, in my head, go, F me. My dice now sit, so I'm a little embarrassed to play them in a public venue.
Well, let's remember it's a family-friendly game store, so
it is.
It's
a huge family-friendly game store.
We may want to resist the outward burst of you saying that. So maybe
I absolutely control myself in a public venue because I worked retail long enough to know that my normal vocabulary does not come out when I'm in public in a business setting.
Just keep one of those dice in your pocket, and when you roll a bunch of ones, reach in, grab it, and rub it, and think about saying it, and then put it back in your pocket.
Yeah, no, I think it all the time, but I may actually use them as well. Depends on how things go. So
there we go.
We'll see.
Victor, thank you very much. It's great to know that we are the best thing on Saturday morning television or internet or whatever we would be considered.
Victor, I love you to death, buddy, but I'm really starting to question your judgment.
I'm not. I support it. So next week,
2 old guys complaining hour. So
we don't complain. We enlighten.
Oh, that's a word too.
Not the word you were looking for. So with that cliffhanger in mind,
yes,
everybody be ready for next week's show. Jeff is going to share his adventures with his week.
That's also depending on whether I'm not going to be here next week, as whether or not my repair job on my vehicle makes this 140-mile round trip.
Jeff may be on cell phone next week.
I may be remotely from a rest stop between here and Baltimore.
It worked for the Muppets. Yeah, we can make that work. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get out of here because Jeff needs to, I don't know if you already packed up, but he needs
My armies are in cases, but I got to load them up in the car. I got to make sure that the car is ready to go and then head out, grab some lunch and head that way to see Dave and play a game and roll some dice and hopefully have a good time, which I will. I always have a good time when I play Dave. And there's been a couple games that have gone pretty well for me. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
What are we having for lunch?
Probably just a bacon double cheeseburger to munch on while I'm driving down the freeway, which is boring.
Yeah, but a bacon double cheeseburger makes that trip a whole lot better.
Yeah.
So from where?
Right, from Burger King.
All
Burger King right on the way out.
So today, Jeff will be adding some cholesterol to his diet.
like that's not good. They didn't know that was going to happen.
All right, everybody. So we're going to cut out of here. Come in next week. We'll bring you up to speed on all that, all the things Jeff's got going on. I'm just going to be probably at my desk again today, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Awesome. Good for you, man.
Andy and I are going to head over to Hobby Lobby.
Right.
She's got a new sewing machine, so she's super excited and needs some fabric.
Good for her. Absolutely.
So, and then when we come home, I'm going to plant my butt back down in the chair and paint models. Or look at them longingly and go, man, they just really need some paint.
Well, I'll be so jacked up to paint after anytime I play a game, I'm gonna be like Rhett, so I'm gonna come home and start painting again.
There we go. All right, so we'll be back next week. Everybody, what did David say?
We'll just stop by Andy's. He's working today, probably.
All right, which Andy's though? Because are you at the big store or are you at the little store? Curious minds want to know. Actually, it's a little out of the way. We're going to the Hobby Lobby up on our neck of the woods. So maybe I'll swing, but I don't know. That's not too far.
Yeah. So. And Mark, I'll shoot you an IM when I get home from my game today, and hopefully we can chat tonight.
So he's at the big store. I was waiting for the answer for that. All right. If things happen, David, maybe I'll swing up there. We'll see. All right. We're going to cut out of here. We'll see y'all next week. Take care.
Bye.